So it is Friday night and waiting for my duck breast to rest tonight, making a seared duck breast with some foie gras, both with a blackberry gastrique. Duck doesn't take as long, I think, to rest as beef, and I really don't want it to get cold. So what did I want to pair? I've been wanting to open this bottle for a while. I've been looking for this for a while. Finally found it at stores. This is Burn Cottage. Sauvage Vineyard 2021 Pinot Noir from Otago, so Central Otago, New Zealand. And New Zealand is, I think there's barely any bad wine out of New Zealand. Now, availability is a little bit sparse. Finding this Burn Cottage was nightmarish. This is a Pinot Noir. This producer gets a lot of accolades in most of the publications, so I figured what a good time to try it. I do love Pinot Noir. I think it will go really well with duck breast. So it was either that or Syrah, and I don't really have any Northern Rhone Syrah, which is what I would have preferred. At least anything that's sort of affordable. Now I know they have a set of ranges. This must be one of their single vineyards. This out of the glass just smells like fresh strawberries. Insane fresh strawberries. Unbelievable. It is so reminiscent of strawberries. It's outrageous. I don't know what the alcohol is on this. And I probably 13.5. So good solid alcohol level. It's only been decanting for maybe half hour. I did take a sip right out of the bottle when I first poured it. Let's see if it's any different now that it's decanted for half hour, 45 minutes. That's a good wine. Oh, that's really good. That's got delicious factor. That's got elegance. It's got layers. Length. Length to me is a big, big characteristic in good wine. It is still going. So there's some of those baking spices. The fresh strawberry is absolutely the most prominent red fruit flavor. That is the dominant flavor in here. Good acidity is good, making the side of my mouth water. This is awesome. Wow, this is really good. This makes me happy that I finally got to try this. New Zealand, I don't think I've ever had a bad New Zealand Pinot Noir, so maybe I need to find a few more, but they're not as easy to find, so I'm doing the Burgundy thing, as I sort of mentioned, but if I find more Burn Cottage, and I think they had 2 other Burn Cottages. I think they had the standard bottling, which I'm absolutely going to try. I don't know the price. I think this was, let's say, $60. I don't know 100% if that's what it cost, but this is phenomenal. There's the tannin is there too, but it's not like a Cabernet tannin. But it's there to tell you this wine can age. The acidity is there to tell you this wine can age. This wine's awesome. Gosh, it's awesome. Yeah, this has a delicious factor. This will probably only get better with a decant. What vintage? This is a 2021, so it's got a little bit of age on it. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. What else does it say on here? Bannockburn, Central Otago. Sauvage, Sauvage vineyard. So I assume that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, nothing that super interesting to tell me why it's so great, except that I'm going to tell you this wine is great. This is what Pinot Noir should be. Not these cheap under $20 Napa Pinots that don't even taste like Pinot. They taste like, I don't know what. Garbage. They're really so bad. I think the 2 worst categories of cheap wine, where they don't even taste or smell like wine, is Pinot Noir and Cabernet. And of course, it just typically comes out of this country. Or maybe that's because of the availability of it in this country. Maybe in other countries they do the same thing, that they're very, very low-end wines are the popular grapes, and then they also taste pretty horrible. I am due to do some tastings, so I probably should. Some Costco wine. Costco wine's always a very popular thing. I think I'm going to try something different of, buy this, drink this. Drink drink this, buy this, some type of thing where I find a great wine value that's available. And I have one in mind from Malbec right now in my head. And I just do a little short video of it because I think that's the number one thing people want to know. Give me an affordable wine I could drink every day of the week. I think anyone could go to a store and find a wine that's $60 to $100. And you're hard-pressed to have a really bad one unless you find something that's just not your palate. You go buy a Bordeaux, it's going to be very, very different to a Napa Cabernet in most cases. Not always, but in some cases, most cases. So I wouldn't recommend going for that wild swing. You want a Syrah with a lot of upfront dark fruit, then you go to the Northern Rhone and it's got a gaminess and a bacon fat thing. You might be confused. So you got to be careful a little bit when you pay. Cost doesn't always mean quality, but it also does depend on where you are getting it in the world, I mean. This is going to go so well. I was a little afraid that the wine wouldn't stand up to the duck press, but this is going to work. This has a little bit of heft to it. It's Pinot Noir, so of course it's going to be lighter skin. It's a very finicky grape. It's a very difficult grape to get right, and that's also why it's so easy to get wrong. So this is a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5. This is right now 4.5. This is probably going to be a 5. This is phenomenally good Pinot. The best Pinot Noir I've had from New Zealand, bar none. Bar none. And that's saying something, and it's how much money. So, going to make the foie gras now because that takes minutes to make. Pair this with the duck breast. I think it's going to be a match made in heaven. Have a good night. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving.